Okay guys, welcome to another build for the Witch Doctor for this Diablo 3 Season 10. What we're working on today is the Helltooth set. So this is Helltooth's Harness. What it does is it basically applies a necrosis to all enemies that are hit by your basic skills, which are any of your primary skills. Anything like Acid Cloud, Fire Bat, Zombie Charger, Zombie Dogs, Gargantuan, Grasp of the Dead, Piranhas, or Wall of Death are all afflicted by necrosis. They become slow and they take 1500% weapon damage every second, and they take 20% increased damage from your attacks for the next 10 seconds. And then after that, anything you have, every time you apply necrosis to an enemy, you take 60% reduced damage for 10 seconds, and then after casting Wall of Death, you gain 1400% increased damage for 15 seconds with your primary skills, your Acid Cloud, Fire Bats, pretty much everything you use to put it on them, you get bonuses to that. So what I'm using for this, I've got all of the Helltooth set on. I also have the Bakulai Jungle Wraps. It's not the ideal best in slot for this one, but it's one of the best belts I have. It just increases fire bats. And then I'm using the Lakumba's Ornament because this is one of the things you can use to make you the most tanky in the game. Reduce all damage taken by 6% for each stack of Soul Harvest you have, and because of that I'm using the Sacred Harvester, which allows Soul Harvest to stack up to 10 times. And the rune I'm using on Soul Harvest is Languish, which gives me an extra 10% per harvested enemy and 3% intelligence for harvested enemies. So I keep that on constantly, just like I do for most of the other sets. I mean, adding 100% armor, 30% intelligence, and reducing damage taken by 60%. Hard to beat. This is one of the tankiest builds I've built in a while. I'm also using the Wilkins Reach, which increases Grasp of the Dead damage by 47% and removes the Grasp of the Dead's cooldown, which is huge. I don't know why I have a Dexterity ring. I'll fix that before we actually run this set. Basically, everything else just kind of increases different skills. I am running the Endless Walk set still because this is huge. While standing still, you're just absolutely nuking on guys. And a lot of this build, I just stand around to nuke guys, and I stand right in the middle. So let's go over what is in the cube for this set. I have the Ucapian Serpent, which is 30% of the damage taken to you is directed to your zombie dogs, and I have 3 of those guys running around. I am running the Nemesis Bracers because this just helps with speed of running all of these, and I'm getting through Greater Rift 50s pretty easily. And I am running the Convention of Elements because that boost that you get every now and again, you'll just see guys just melt away from you. So that's nice to have in there as well. As you can see, we do have about 600,000 life, and that seems to be pretty survivable right now with the 10,000 or 10 million toughness. And we're also doing just over 1 million in DPS, which is pretty huge. So to go over the skills, I am using Widowmakers because that's one of the highest damage, and since I'm going to get a huge boost to them anyway, I go ahead and use those for that. Grasp of the Dead, I'm using Groping Eels, which is one of the highest DPS runes for this one, and since it has no cooldown, I might as well just pop it whenever. And it slows enemies and deals 1300% damage. Wall of Death is one of the most important skills for this set because it gives you that last buff, so I'm using the Communing with Spirits rune, which summons a circle of spirits for 6 seconds that deals 1200% weapon damage as cold, chills nearby enemies, and reduces their damage by 25%. Once again, you keep that around you, you keep your survivability very high. We already went over Soul Harvest. I am using the zombie dogs with the Leeching Beast, which summon 3 of them. Each dog deals 120% of your weapon damage as physical per hit. Your zombie dogs heal you for 100% of your life on hit with every attack, which mine's not crazy high, but with them out there attacking, with me getting 100% extra armor, 60% damage reduction base, it ends up being a lot of survivability. Gargantuan, we are running the one that when they encounter an elite enemy, it enrages for 15 seconds. This is actually kind of important because I forgot to mention the ring I'm using. is the short man's finger. So Gargantuan instead summons 3 smaller Gargantuans, each more powerful than just the one. So I have 3 insanely strong Gargantuans out on the field. I also have 3 insanely useful zombie dogs constantly giving me life on hit, which, like I said, it's not much, but it's just about 17,000 per hit. So you're looking at returning 40,000 with the 3 dogs every time they hit, which is extremely nice. What else we're using for passives? We're going to be looking at Pierce the Veil. All of your damage is increased by 20%, but your mana costs are increased by 30%. It's kind of useful because we're not really doing a whole lot with the casting on this one. We're basically just running in and then popping a whole bunch of ground effects and then using our basic skills to do the most damage. Spirit Vessel, absolutely essential for all of these builds. In case something goes wrong, you get caught out without any Soul Harvest stacks, that's going to pop pretty much instantly. Grave Injustice, you gain 1% of your maximum life and mana and reduce the cooldown of all of your skills by 1 second when an enemy dies within 20 yards. That's pretty useful because this one right here is a circle around us. It's not very big, and we're going to be keeping a lot of our enemies very close to us. And we're going to be throwing Grasp of the Dead. So this is going to keep popping and keep these cooldowns. These 2 right here are going to basically stay off of cooldown when guys start dying around us. And then Confidence Ritual, we do a bunch of extra damage to guys that are right around us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix that gem for a second, and then I will see you guys on the Rift. Okay, guys, so as you can see, that was pretty quick. It only takes about 8 minutes. My record is 7:36 at this level, but that is a Greater Rift 50 run with relatively no challenge. I don't even think I popped Spirit Vessel that entire time. We get a ton of good gear at this level. If you're talking about Greater Rift 50s, you're talking about moving on 11s and up for Torment difficulty. So that's a really good level to farm at. This is a pretty easy set to come across and a pretty easy set to run. You just need a few of these extra pieces, make it a lot more viable, like I've shown before. But you see the basic strategy is you're going to run in and you're going to drop the Wall of Death as quickly as possible around as many enemies as possible. Get out into the middle of them and Soul Harvest. That's going to ramp your survivability way up. and then you're just going to nuke a bunch of these around the area, making sure that the area around you is slow, and then you're just going to stand back and hit the Widowmakers for your damage. So it's a pretty easy set. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them down below. I'm usually pretty good about responding to comments. I really appreciate you guys' support. Make sure you like and subscribe to stay up on updates. I'm getting on towards the end of the Witch Doctor sets, so I'll probably be working on some other characters soon. So if you have another character you'd like to see, go ahead and leave that in the comments down below as well. Thanks again, guys. Have a great day.